Good evening to an absolutely soaking wet Imola for the Tier 3 race. I'm your lead comms BitW365, and my co-com tonight for this race is, we know him as Chatty Duck, but in the comms group we know him by his real name. It's Neville. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Looking forward to seeing what the Tier 3 boys can do tonight in Imola, and I'm sure they'll be hoping that it dries up, because this looks pretty horrible.
Yeah, looking at it, it's probably full wets, looking at the conditions at the moment in time. And it looks like it is full wets for the drivers, because you got the two Ferraris going out, and I think Simba's the first car on track. He is. Simba in the Scarlet Ferrari in front of the Italian faithful of Imola. This race, the track held its very first race in 1980, but it was the Italian Grand Prix it held that season. And the winner of that race was Brazil's Nelson Piquet. This track is track length of 3.050 miles, made up of 19 corners, 8 to the left, 6 to the right. This is a 50% race that we run, so the race length will be a total of 69.017 miles. Lap record here was set by Lewis Hamilton in 2020 of a 15.4. Most successful driver at this track, Michael Schumacher, 7 wins, and the most successful constructor / team, well, there's 2, Ferrari and Williams, with 8 apiece. And now we are going to jump on board with Simba as he's about to start his first flying lap and get us underway in qualifying, as we are flat out in the wet conditions as we head down to Tamburello, which was introduced by the track changes in 95 because of the year prior, which we all know, very dark day in Formula 1. And now we're heading towards Villeneuve. Nice and steady through Villeneuve just with the conditions, and then we're into the Tosa hairpin, making sure not to spin tyres up on exit, nice and tidy. And now it's up the hill towards Piratella. Very easy to invalidate track limits here. And then we're into Acqua Minerale, the double right, which then starts going uphill. Very easy to lose the car through there. Then we're on to the chicane. I forget the name sometimes, and I'm usually good at remembering track corner names and stuff. And then it's downhill towards the 2 Rivazzas. We'll be entering the first one now. First Rivazza, nice and steady by Simba. And then the second Rivazza. And then it's steady on the power, foot to the floor. No DRS though due to the wet conditions, and Simba crosses the line and sets us first with a 32.4.
Yep, and he's gonna, well, I thought for a moment he might back off and let his teammate tonight, Chris Bailey from Tier 1, one of the reserves, to have a go, but Simba is going to try again, it seems. He's the only man at the moment to have set a time. We've got Nuts in the...
Oh, voltage 27.2.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a theme of this session with everyone getting used to the weather. We'll see quite a difference in times at first. And if the rain continues or lightens off a bit, we might see those times come down.
Yeah, it looks rain looks rather consistent at the moment, as Mutsnuts does a 32.8, and then Shaver in the McLaren 33.6, and then the new kid on the blocks, Nact Champ, who's making his debut tonight in Tier 3, has put a 32.9, and then we've just had Wookie go P3 with a 32.5. And you were mentioning Chris Bailey earlier. He's a Tier 1 driver, so he can't set a lap time. And to be fair, with the Tier 2 drivers that are reserving tonight, I'm not 100% sure what the ruling is, because it is everyone's going to be on full wet, so I don't think they'll be able to set a lap time due to everyone being on the full wets. So there's going to be a handful of drivers not being able to set lap times. As we're watching Flaherty gets a bit squirrely through Aqua Minerale and has to bail out of it, and is now waiting patiently to allow people through for a safe rejoin. Bobo's deciding to go intermediates, because I've just jumped to him and he's on intermediates, Neville.
Yeah, I was just looking at that as well. He is the championship leader in Tier 3.
Yeah,
with quite a significant point margin as well.
Yeah,
so
37 points. No, hold on. No, not 37 points. He's got, 37 points ahead of his nearest challenger, Social Path. As we'll see what Bobo can do on the intermediate tyres. Although it's not going to be a decent lap to begin with, a 38.6, but he's probably going to go this time round. So we'll follow and see what Bobo can do on these intermediate tyres. Trying something different from everybody else. Looks nice and smooth through Tamburello.
I mean, the track does look very wet. It doesn't look ready for intermediates.
Yeah, there is a dry line forming gradually with the with how much water those full wets will clear. He's not doing too bad. It seems to be handling steady for him. Just stays within track limits through Piratella. Comes through Aqua Minerale. Got a Haas going off just in front, so the Haas just got to be a bit careful with the Williams coming through. Hopefully it doesn't block him. No, the Haas stays out the way.
Compromised his entry a bit though into the chicane.
Yeah, could have been handled a bit better. As Bobo now on the downhill run to the first Ravazza. Back end comes out big time through the first Ravazza. Keeps it together, comes out the second one. And he's going to cross the line and do a 26.6 to take provisional pole on the intermediate tyres. I think he's got a bit more time there, because as we saw coming through the first Ravazza, his back end came out quite a lot. And the same in the second Ravazza, he was having to really keep that rear end in check.
It looked like he had that a lot throughout the lap, to be honest. Quite a lot of small rear end losses. So I guess it's really a question of if you've got the confidence that you can keep the car pointing in the right direction, give the intermediates a go, and you can probably find a bit more time that way. Yeah.
Well, he's got a nice buffer to Voltage, who's currently sat on a 27.2. Who's on his way out now, but it's going to be interesting to see what the other drivers decide to do because of his time on the intermediates. Will anyone else be brave enough to give it a go? As we'll jump to Hive. As he's having another go, he's invalidated his last lap, but he's going again. One thing we will see with the wet conditions in qualifying is you won't see drivers going in and out of the pits. They'll be filling the car up by quite a significant amount of fuel and just going round to make sure that line dries up. And obviously it'll improve over time, and as the fuel goes down as well, the car will also improve.
Yeah, and it gives the tyres that extra few laps to warm up as well.
Yeah, just keeps it in track limits, does Hive at Piratello. I'd say one of the most difficult parts of the track, I'd have to say, would be Acqua Minerale, because it's downhill, but then you're going back uphill as well as it being two right-handers. I mean, I especially struggle at Acqua Minerale, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's I actually find the first Rivazza as well, the downhill braking zone there is a bit of a challenge, so that'll just be amplified for these drivers.
Hive improves to a 28.6, goes P3 full wet, so it's definitely, as you say, over time improving.
I think the thing is that as Bobo, wow,
24.9 on the inters, he really is finding a real comfort zone in those intermediate tyres where everybody else is out on the full wets. As we've got the Sauber and a V-carb near enough nose to tail coming into the, almost near enough racing each other through there. The V-carb and Sauber. As Stube improves, 28.8, 1.3 second improvement. So times are coming down. I'm surprised he didn't lose a bit of time through that final part of the track with the V-carb coming through.
Voltage has just improved to 25.5.
Yep. He too's on the intermediate tyres now, his voltage, but I wonder if he's been on the inters like Bobo from the get-go.
Well, Voltage has only done the one lap on this current set of intermediates, but yeah, you can definitely see now that there is a bit more of a dry line forming on the track, as Armour Red now goes third on the inters, so I think it's definitely is time for everyone to be switching over.
Yeah, it's definitely the changeover point. There's a clear line forming on track with the amount of cars on track, with the amount of water that's being dispersed from the track.
We've got Simba in the Ferrari going for another flying lap on the intermediates now.
So we'll see what the Ferrari can do with the Lion King at the wheel as he makes his way towards Villeneuve. Looks very planted into Tosa. According to the game, he's got that middle. Quicker. He's got it's Gavin Purple for sector 1 through Piratello, and then Acqua Minerale. Definitely does look a lot better with the intermediate tyres on, as it's Gavin Purple for sector 2 as well, as he'll come towards the end of the lap. See where this will jump him. Currently P9. See how far he jumps up with this lap as he comes out the second Rivazza. Back end comes out just a little bit. Shortest run to the line, goes P2 on a 25.2. Big jump from P9 to alongside on the front row.
Yeah, it's a good lap. There's going to be some more faster times coming in as more of the drivers switch to the intermediates. Armour Red at the moment is slightly up on his previous best after the first sector.
So we'll jump to Armour Red as he's just coming through Aqua Minerale in the Alpine. Armour, one of our higher tier reserves. So I don't know if this will be looked into. As he goes P2 on a 25.0.
Yeah, and we've got a load of drivers at the moment just on their outlaps on the intermediates, about to start a flying lap. Hive in the Mercedes, he's just started a lap on the intermediates, so a lot of those guys that have set times in the 28s and the 29s are surely about to improve quite significantly.
Yeah, probably come down to the low to mid 25s, looking at some of the times on the intermediate. So it's Voltage 23.1 on the intermediate tyres, takes provisional pole. We're into the last 1 minute and 20 seconds left, so we're into the dying moments of this qualifying session, as we're currently watching Hive come through Aqua Minerale towards the tight chicane. Track map says he's gone purple in that middle sector. And it's down the hill towards Rivazza 1. See how far he will put, as he's always invalidated.
Not sure where.
So this lap won't count, but it would have been a 27.1. But for some reason it's also invalidated his next lap as well. So Hive sadly isn't going to improve because it's invalidated this lap as well.
Simba's just crossing the line, but he is down on his best, so he will get one more go to set a fast time.
Yeah, just watching Stu coming through the last couple corners on what will be his last timed run. The Sauber coming through the two Rivazzas. And then to the line. And Stu goes P4 on a 24.9. And I've just noticed Womack's P2 with a 24.7.
Yeah, very good time from him. Nuts has invalidated. But we've got Simba and Bobo on a much quicker lap as he comes towards Rivazza.
We'll jump to the Williams. He's coming through the last corner. Now Bobo coming to the line, championship leader. 22.7 to take provisional pole. I don't think that could get beaten. I think that could be pole position, but as Voltage isn't going to set another time, Simba improves to P3 to go on the second row.
That's it.
Yeah, Triz is not on a lap either, so it is Bobo taking pole position right at the depth with a 22.7. So that puts the championship leader and the constructors leaders, Williams, on pole position. As we wait.
No surprises to see him up there. He's been brilliant so far this season.
He's really put his put the cat amongst the pigeons in tier 3 with as We won't be looking at that. As we wait for quality to be done and dusted, everyone to take the checkered flag, so we can run through the running order for the Tier 3 Imola Grand Prix, or is its true name the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. As we'll run through the order once they pop up. And here is your grid for Tier 3. We have Bobo on pole, Voltage on the front row alongside him, Simba P3, Wumax P4, Stu P5, Armar P6, Flaherty P7, Mutsnuts 8, Sambal 9th, Hive is 10th, Wookie 11th, Triz 12th, Smith 13th, Shaver 14th, Baby Hornet 15th, The New Kid, Nacked Champ in 16th. Then we've got Bergen, Captain Nibs, Chris Bailey and Airways rounding off the grid. And now we'll be heading towards a 5-minute break to allow drivers to grab a drink, go for a toilet break and sort their strategies out. And we have crystal clear blue skies and bright sunshine. Complete contrast from qualifying.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the drivers will be very happy to see that, having struggled and slid their way through that qualifying session. Looks like it's going to be a lot more straightforward in the race, especially with strategies as well.
Yeah, I would say the recommended strategy around here for a 50% is definitely the medium hard. This track, known for safety cars. There's been many, always. So that's a rapid ready up.
Someone's cocked up there.
Somebody's jumped the gun. So unfortunately, we could be having a reset probably.
Yeah, that's going to be a red flag, I would have thought, unfortunately.
Because that was a really quick ready up. Yep, we got migrating host. And now we're, for some reason, back at the grid again, but everyone's leaving, so I think it will be a red flag looking at it.
Yeah.
So we'll be back for the race when things have been sorted out.